About 9 months ago. Jesus, that was 9 months ago. Anyway, I made a video where I ran each and every 1 and 2 star Uma by only upgrading their speed stat. But recently, and by recently, I mean a couple months ago, yes I know I'm late to the party, another 2 star Uma dropped in the game. That being the glorious Matikanetannhauser, or Mambo for short. And since Machitan is a very important Uma to the fandom of this game, like I remember seeing clips of Mambo before the game even got a global version, I thought that she should get her own special video for this challenge. So with that, on to the rules. Firstly, like in my last video on this, I can only upgrade Machitan's speed, because that's the whole idea for the video. But other than that, unlike in my last video, I'll be allowing her to use as many alarm clocks as possible, because, well, I'm not racing 15 different horses this time. So now, if those bare bone rules stated, let's train a Mambo. Now luckily Machitan can be ran as a late surger just like my other 2 favorite Umas. My beloved Tam Tam, as well as everyone's favorite girl failure, Meshio Doto. So choosing my legacies for this run was a no-brainer. But as for my skill cards, that was also kind of a no-brainer. Mainly because the scenario I was running this challenge in was in the URA finals. Because A, that was the scenario I did the original run under, and B, because I have yet to actually try Track Blazer, which makes it sound like I haven't been playing this game as much, but on the contrary, I've actually been playing it a lot more than usual, mainly because I really want TM Opera O, so I've been grinding Uma runs to make better Umas to hopefully beat her every day to get her star piece. And so far, I have 90 more days to go. But getting back on track, for my skill cards, I use Creek and Cafe for more stamina skills throughout my challenge, Nature for Mambo to get more big brain point drops throughout my run, and finally Bakshin, Fukukitaru, and Kitasan Black for friendship training. And with my setup complete, let's see how far my little chud can go. Now, like with every Uma, she needs to make a debut race, so I train her up for that. And by train her up, I mean I just make her run because, well, I think you know why already. And after only 4 days of training, I'm already getting married to Machitan. But as hard as it is to say no to this face, I already pledged my eternal love to my gold chip body pillow. So I'm already a taken man, Machitan. But luckily she does find her true love a couple days later by rizzing up this vending machine. And I mean, she's spitting straight game. Like my little Vindy Windy machine, if she used that on me, the marriage might have went through. Huh? What? Chat, I don't know what you're talking about. Must have been the wind. And speaking about wind, Machitan is going to feel it right now because it's time for her debut race. But before she runs it, I decide to get her pressure, because even though this is a medium distance race, she'll have to face the Kikua show. And that was one of 2 run killers in my last video. But for now, let's see her performance in her debut race. And it goes like how most debut races go. Because I'm running her as a late surger, she stays in the back of the pack until she pops her signature recovery skill, Go Go Mun, and goes from 7th all the way to 1st place within the matter of seconds, just to blow away every other racer for a 1st place finish, and now that deserves a yippee. For her second race, it's a bit different, because she just needs to place above 5th place in any G1, but there's really only 2 I can have her run in for this goal, that being the Hashin Juvenile Fillies and the Hopeful Stakes. But before I get to any of those, let's check up on the Umas that are helping our beloved Mambo. Firstly, we have Nice Nature crashing out as she does best. Then we have the one that explodes whenever she drinks coffee, exploding. And finally, we have whatever the fuck Fukukitaru is doing. Actually, Machitan, don't listen to any of them, just keep running. Anyway, the first G1 I try her out in is the Hashin Fillies. When she popped her ult, she just kinda failed to move up the field, like at all, so she ended up getting 6th place. And after some Chinese food, because Machitan really likes Chinese food for some reason, she was ready to face the Hopeful Stakes, aka the race she needs to win in order for me to continue this run. And of course, Gold Ship is here, so that's that's already terrifying. But with the power of Crab Rangoons and Lo Mein in her system, when Machitan popped her Go-Go Mun, she started to pull ahead this time, and even managed to get in the first place after taking the final corner, resulting in yet another first place win, as well as her first G1 victory. Yippee, yet again. But we mustn't get complacent yet, because even though I get deep breaths from Super Freak, as well as Machitan gets an S rank boost in medium distant races from Tama and Doto, we'll soon be coming up on the two most difficult races in this run for a speed only challenge. But first it's time for the Satsuki show. And not to sound anticlimactic, but it goes the same way as every other race so far has. Well, except for the fact that towards the end of the race, she ended up dueling with Rice Shower. So there's something new. Anyway, after this, I only have 2 days to prepare her for the Tokyo Yushin. And of course, during this small 2-day period, Machitan forgets the lyrics in her stir-fry song, causing her mood to drop. Mambo, you cannot be fumbling the bag like this right now. But luckily, I've already gotten Haruki Ikkyo by this time, as well as Corner Adept, so hopefully that's all I need. And guess what? That was all I needed, because after Machitan got her nosebleed, she popped Corner Adept, and after the camera pans to where she can get a glimpse of Mahono Bourbon's thong, Mambo goes from 11th all the way to 4th within the final turn, only to then end up passing Bourbon at the last second for another G1 victory. So, for a reward, well, another reward, because seeing Mahono Bourbon's ass is a reward in itself, I give her the skill Deep Breaths. Well, mainly for the Kikua show, but before we get to that, yeah, I've said this joke in every Uma video, so I think it's time I let it rest. But during this trip, she gets to talk to her papa, so that's nice for my little Nepo baby. And you would think that that puts her in good spirits, but I kid you not, right before the race, Machitan forgets the lyrics to her stir-fry song yet again, so her mood drops yet again, right before another important race. Now, despite this racetrack being longer than all the others so far, the same course of action happens yet again, where Mambo will start around 7th place for the majority of the race, until she pops her ult towards the end, and then proceeds to take over first at the final corner. And I know I said that both this race and the Tokyo Yushin would be the most difficult races in this challenge, but Machitan made them look easy, and because of that, she's now a Triple Crown winner. Move over, Simbali Rudolph, because there's a new horsey in charge. So after a quick victory dance on the graves of her haters, I teach Machitan two very important skills. Professor of Curvature, which, if you watched all my other Uma videos, you know why this is good, but the other one is arguably better, that being Focus. So now I don't have to worry about late starts killing my run. Gold ship. Anyway, our next race should be an easy one, given that it's the Diamond Stakes, a G3 race, but instead this race was a roller coaster of emotions. Because instead of a late start, Machitan gets rushed at the beginning of the race instead, causing her to go all the way to the back. But luckily, thanks to Deep Breaths, she was able to recover on the straightaway and get back up to 10th. But it's what happens after she pops her ult that's crazy, because after Go-Go Mun, she fights her way all the way up to 7th, before falling all the way back down to 16th right before the final corner. So at this point, I thought the race was finished for her. But then, be it some god or demon that gave her its power, she went all the way up from 16th to 1st within the final stretch of the race. I wasn't aware that Mambo had that dog in her like that, and now I'm kind of afraid. But that's mainly because of the spring Tenno show, because even though Mambo did prove to have that dog in her, I guess that said dog got euthanized before this race, because she only got 6 on her first try. Then on her second attempt, she at least pops her skills, like Professor of Curvature and Pressure, but she pops the most important one, Deep Breaths, far too late into the race. But at least this time she gets 5th, so 3rd time's the charm, right? Well, this time she pops Deep Breaths immediately right out of the starting gate. But I mean, that's gotta be better than popping it at the very end. And it was, because thanks to Pressure and Curvature popping at the final corner, corner, Machitan was able to get a second place finish right behind Rai Shower. But I don't get any time to rest after this close call, because right after is the Takarazuka Kinen. But luckily for this race, it was just like the others up until the final corner, where Mambo did another impressive feat by going from 10th all the way to 1st just within the final stretch of the race, beating McQueen by a hair in the process. Now her next race is the Japan Cup. But if you know the real-life Mambo lore, then you would know that Matikanetannhauser doesn't race in the 1994 Japan Cup due to a nosebleed. So just like in real life, Umamusume also doesn't race due to a nosebleed as well. But hey, that just means more time to prepare for the Amarina Kinen. And prepare is what we do, because thanks to both Kita-san and Bakshin, I get Mambo over 1100 in speed and over 650 in power. And as for her final skill, I get her Slick Surge, so that way we don't have another Spring Tenno Show incident. And with that, it's time for the final race for Machitan's goal, the Amarina Kinen. And, for her big final important race, it was kind of lackluster, because, well, she once again stayed in the back of the pack until her iconic nosebleed happens. And then from there, she easily takes over first place to win the Amarina Kinen. And with that, all of Lil Mambo's goals are complete. But we do get the option to race in the URA finals. And now I would talk about the qualifier and the semifinals, but nothing of interest happens. Machitan just stole the show as usual. But as for the finals, it was a pretty close call, because Machitan didn't start to push for first until the very last minutes of the race, causing her to enter a neck-and-neck finish with everyone's favorite low cortisol creature. But by doing a slow motion replay, we can see that Machitan did in fact come out on top. And after promising to stay by her side, we get the racing results of 13 total races with 11 total wins, resulting in a score of 9,182, proving that you can indeed beat Umamusume by only upgrading Matikanetannhauser's speed. And if you made it this far into the video, I would say that you probably liked it, so a like and subscribe are always appreciated to show me that you enjoy content like this. Thank you all so much for watching this fairly short video, and remember to have a fantastic day.